I've never been on hunger strike. But then again, I've never hit anyone in the back with a sledgehammer, or actively supported a pogrom or prescribed terrorist group. 8 people affiliated with Palestine Action, a direct action group, are currently on hunger strike while in UK prison awaiting trial. They're young British citizens, generally between the ages of 20 and early 30s. Several have now been hospitalised as their health deteriorates. The hunger strikers are refusing food to draw attention to several grievances: extended pre-trial detention, denial of bail, prison conditions, prescription of Palestine Action, and broader political aims. Obviously, in my opinion, we have a group of over-entitled, misguided, middle-class wank socks that have discovered that their actions have legal consequences, and now they find themselves in a justice system which is slower than a sloth on a Sunday. But never fear at all, because the champion of these types is the celebrity North London intelligentsia class. And what do they have to say about it? Mariella Performative Strop, or I think as it's pronounced Froststrop, is a, by all accounts, journalist, broadcaster, author and campaigner. And nothing makes you feel more privileged and entitled than calling yourself a campaigner. Good on you, Performative Strop. Anyway, she's got a book out now before I go laying into her. It's called Eat Your Way to a Better Menopause, which does sound like a sexual act I'm going to leave to other people. Anyway, awaiting a trial for protesting a cause supported by many, ? Surely this 20-year-old girl, she's talking about Keza Zahra here. Keza Zahra is one of the students. She's a second-year social sciences student. Read into that what you will, at the University of London. And she says, surely this 20-year-old girl has a right to express her outrage. Are we following the US in our crackdown on freedoms? ? Palestine Action hunger striker in deadly period after 47 days. Not sure what her menstruation cycle has to do with it. But let's dig into this a little deeper, shall we? Disappointingly, I think, the right-wing press have not done a lot of covering of this, so I'm very much relying on the left-wing press, papers like The Guardian, which I'm just going to read an article from now, to get the information they believe that we should hear about this. So this is an article from The Guardian today. Palestine Action linked hunger striker Keza Zahra taken to hospital. A 20-year-old woman taking part in the hunger strike by Palestine Action-affiliated prisoners has been taken to hospital after protesters gathered outside the jail where she was being held to demand she receive urgent medical attention. Keza Zahra, who is being held at HMP Bronzefield in Surrey while awaiting trial, is on day 46 of hunger strike. Prisoners for Palestine, they've all got these wonderful names, haven't they? Like we've all got to bloody remember them. A prisoner-led collective in Britain, such communist language, is unreal, said the prison service was reported to have denied an ambulance entry into Bronzefield on Tuesday afternoon, despite Zahra's having been unable to stand, writhing in pain on the cell floor. Now, first of all, just jump out of this very quickly. Look, so what we're being told here is the prison is refusing entry of an ambulance. That tells you one thing. The prison didn't call the ambulance. It can't have done. If the prison called an ambulance, you would have thought that it would quite happily open the doors to allow it in. So somebody has called the ambulance on behalf of Keza Zahra here. The prison here are following a procedure in the same way the government are following a procedure. If they deemed it necessary for an ambulance to be called, they would be calling an ambulance. They haven't done this. So let's carry on reading. A spokesperson for the prison said, all prisoners have full access to healthcare, including attendance at external medical facilities if needed. Zahra Sultana MP and friends and supporters of Zahra gathered outside on Tuesday to demand she is being transferred to emergency care. The Green Party peer, Jenny Jones, later joined the protest outside the jail, warning that Zahra's condition could be life-threatening. We don't. And by the way, what a grift this is becoming for the sultanas of this world. It's all incredibly performative. An ambulance eventually arrived to take her to hospital on Wednesday afternoon. Prisoners for Palestine said Zahra had reported severe chest pain, breathlessness, and abdominal and lower back pain. It claimed her vital signs had been taken only intermittently, and she had received inadequate electrolytes since returning from hospital on Friday due to HMP Bronzefield reportedly running out of electrolytes. There is no comment from the prisoner with regards to them running out of electrolytes. We can only take that on face value. But let's just quickly jump back in here. It said it claimed her vital signs had been taken only intermittently. Well, that's what they do. If anyone's been in hospital or been with a loved one in hospital that is being monitored, they will take and collect your vital signs and data intermittently, usually on an hour-by-hour basis, depending on how busy they are. Nothing about this is unusual so far. According to a letter sent by lawyers for the hunger strikers, they've got their own lawyers, people, the previous hospitalisation came after Zahra spent a night begging for an ambulance, having collapsed and drifted in and out of consciousness. Now, how could you spend all night begging if you're not conscious for part of it? She is one of the two prisoners, along with Amy Gardner Gibson, always a double-barreled somewhere in there, with Amy Gardner Gibson also at Bronzefield, who had been refusing food for 46 days, the same amount of time Martin Herson, when he became the 6th of 10 IRA hunger strikers to die in 1982. Now, I'm not going to comment on the IRA. I grew up during the Troubles, and we're going to leave it there. All are being held for alleged involvement. Sorry, the other prisoners taking part are Heba Murase, I think, day 44, Tuta Hoxha, day 38, Kamran Ahmed, day 37, and Louis Cheramello, day 12. Day 12, Louis. Imagine being Louis. That all the others are on 40-odd days. They must have got to about 30 days, and he must have been going, I bloody love my grub, but I'm going to have to join in, aren't I? They're never going to let me live this down if I don't. All are being held for alleged involvement in Palestine Action protests and will be and have spent well over a year in jail. The pre-trial custody time limit is 6 months before being tried. Their demands include immediate bail, ending the ban on Palestine Action, and stopping restrictions on their communications. Right. They've been on remand for well over a year. That's not because they're political prisoners, by the way. That's because the system is utter dog shit. Utter dog shit. So they're just caught up in a very, very slow system. It's not because of their position, but they would have been refused bail for a reason. You know, people well more qualified for me have made videos on why that would be. She would have had 2 attempts, I know this, 2 attempts to have been able to claim bail. They would have both been refused, okay? So it's very unlikely that they're going to get bail. And the system is incredibly slow. Ending ban on Palestine Action, well, that's a prescribed terror group. I don't see anything, particularly given things that are going on in the world at the moment, that suggests that this protest group, as they call themselves, activist terror group, other people have heard them be called. There are varying opinions on whether Palestine Action Group should be prescribed. They have committed a number of crimes. This is an alleged crime at the moment because it's awaiting trial. But there are a number of people who have been convicted operating under this banner. So they are committing crimes, and most of them are against the government or security businesses, and they are causing a certain level of terror for those people involved. Now, I'm a free speech advocate. Anyone who's ever seen me on GB News, Talk TV, or heard me speak on the Dixon Cox podcast will know that, you know, I do support free speech, and these people are entitled to it. Now, it does overstep the line, and that's the problem. We'll get into this in a bit. There are victims here. There are genuine victims to their crimes here. One police officer was hit in the back with a sledgehammer. So anyway, it goes on. On Wednesday, the former Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn asked Keir Starmer at Prime Minister's questions whether he would meet representatives of the hunger strikers. Starmer declined, echoing the response of the Justice Minister Jake Richards when Corbyn asked him the same question 24 hours earlier. Jake Richards, by the way, just stood up and went no, which was pretty based and quite funny, I thought. A HMP Bronzefield spokesperson said they could not provide information about specific individuals, but added any prisoner refusing food receives regular medical assessments and support from clinicians, as well as being offered mental health support, and as well they might. So, as we all know by now, Palestine Action is a prescribed terror group. And it's not just because they support Hamas, it's because they undertake criminal activity. And as this video I'm just about to show you shows, Sky News reporting from the court case of a group of activists that allegedly broke into a Bristol-based Israeli defence firm earlier this year. They are not messing around. They are happy to use weapons and attack the police. And I'm afraid this young lady is associated with that group, as are other prisoners being held on remand associated to Palestine Action. That's why they're in there. That's why they're being treated as seriously as they are. Take a look at this.
A court has heard that a Palestine Action activist struck a police officer with a sledgehammer after a group allegedly broke into an Israel-based defence firm in Bristol. 6 people are on trial accused of breaking into the site in a prison van in August of last year. Well, our correspondent Sajid Chowdhury has more and joins me now. And video, Sajid, shown in court today.
Yeah, this video shows the dramatic scenes, a very chaotic scene when police attended that Elbit Systems UK site in August last year, as you say. And it is one of many videos that Thames Valley Police released today. And it shows activists in red boiler suits, some of them swinging sledgehammers. And this video, I've got to say, has been treated by Thames Valley Police. So those freezes and those arrows that you're seeing put in by them in order to identify the defendants. Sky News has muted the video because of all of the swearing in it. But if we didn't, you'd hear a lot of shouting and screaming and an alarm going off at that site. 6 people, as you say, are on trial, which prosecutors say was a meticulously organised attack on the site. All 6 deny charges of aggravated burglary, violent disorder, and criminal damage. Prosecutors say that these are all members of Palestine Action, and it is worth clarifying that these allegations, the ones in this case, came before Palestine Action was prescribed under terrorism laws in June. One of the 6 is Samuel Corner. He's further charged with causing grievous bodily harm. He denies striking 2 police officers with a sledgehammer. The officers gave evidence in court today. One of them said that he was scared as he was hit in the calf, and the other one says she felt a massive shock vibrating through her whole body, and that she described thinking that her spine had been shattered because she'd been hit in the back.
Clearly, Palestine Action, another friendly bunch of students, just concerned with the world, worried about humanity. These are the criminal class, dressed up as middle-class students and nice people, and that's why they win over the North London celeb types. So let's go back to what Mariella said, shall we? Mariella Frostrop said, awaiting trial for protesting a cause supported by many. Really? So what you've just seen there is supported by many, is it, Mariella? Is it anyone? I don't believe so. Now, I know they're a vocal bunch of criminals, but I don't think it's supported by many. No, I'm not saying that I represent many, but what I'm saying is most people I speak to don't think this represents them. So surely this 20-year-old girl has a right to express her outrage. Yes, I think we can agree that free speech is a very good thing, whether you're 20 or not. I'm not sure why her age and her agenda comes into this, unless you're trying to emotionalise this in some way to manipulate your message. Are we following the US in our crackdown on freedoms? I hope so. I genuinely hope so. Because what the US are doing is they're not cracking down on people's freedoms, they're protecting other people's freedoms. It's the protection of the victims. It's the protection of the mass group in society. That's what's being protected in the US, and that's not what's being protected in the UK currently. Palestine Action hunger striker in deadly period after 47 days, she concludes. Well, the fact here is that she brought this upon herself. She made an adult decision to go on to hunger strike. There is a procedure that is being followed by the government. There is a procedure that is being followed by the prison service. We might not, any of us, agree on that procedure, but it is the procedure. This could all end tomorrow. It doesn't matter what people like Mariella say, all the rest of these wet flannels. This could all end right now. Your intentions might feel good to you, but Palestine Action support Hamas. Hamas are a terrorised group, a real prescribed terrorist group. They have used human shields, okay, to protect themselves and throw the people of Gaza literally under bombs. I don't support this hunger strike. I don't support this hunger strike because I don't support the people on the hunger strike. I hope no one dies as a result of this. But let me say here and now, if anyone should die as part of this process, it's not David Lammy's fault. It's not Keir Starmer's fault. It's the individual's fault, and it's people like Corbyn, Sultana and Jenny Jones that have vocally supported this day after day after day after day and have not done anything to stop it. If you like what you've seen here today, please like, subscribe, follow, share, leave a comment, leave a rating. I'm on Substack, I'm on X, I'm on YouTube. You can find me at Paul Cox Comedy on all of those platforms. Until next time, keep it real.